people. So lately I've been thinking about buying an additional bike to my Tiger 1200, and in some of my videos I've been asking you guys what I should buy. Maybe a big heavyweight tourer, maybe another naked bike, maybe another adventure bike. Anyway, I've decided to go for a naked bike, and I've actually had an order in for a BMW M1000R competition for a while, but I've been really thinking lately, do I really need another 200 horsepower naked bike after owning a similar kind of $30,000 Ducati Street Fighter V4S? And I rode a friend's Street Triple R 2022 model. Look out for the video on that if you've not seen it. And it really made me think, is that enough for the road? And would I get a lot of enjoyment out of it? And the short answer was yes. And the 2023 model is even better, obviously. It's got a few more tweaks over the existing model. It's got a new TFT screen. It has an Öhlins rear shock. And now there's options for cruise control and heated grips and stuff. So anyway, the long and short is I'm going to order a 2023 Triumph Street Triple RS. So this is Triumph's configurator, and we'll scan down to the roadster section, Street Triple 765, and let's configure one for here, the US market. Now I'm interested in the RS model with 130 PS, and so I'm going to select configure. Now personally, I'm not a big fan of the silver ice. I used to really love the kind of silver graphite grey Street Triple colours, but I think it's been overdone a bit, so I'm not so keen on that, and I won't be going for that particular colour. When I first saw pictures of it, I thought the Carnival Red was stunning, and red is my favourite colour, so I was absolutely convinced that I would go with Carnival Red. But then I wasn't quite sure. I thought I've had an awful lot of red bikes and kind of red, white, black, blues in recent years, and I was watching the 44 Teeth video, and Fagan said it looked like Montego red, which if you're old enough and you live in the UK, you'll know what he meant by that. Kind of put me off a little bit. Not really. I think that would be the biggest selling colour. It's a stunning looking colour. But for me, once I saw actual photographs rather than just pictures online, when I saw actual photographs of real bikes, had to be the cosmic yellow for me. It's a very Rossi-esque, kind of colour scheme, if you like. That bright yellow and black, contrasting black, but it's a nice, almost kind of honey yellow, and it's quite pearlescent in the flesh. It's quite kind of a bit reminiscent of the original Daytona 675. So I'm going for cosmic yellow. You either like that sort of thing or you don't. Now the Street Triple Inspiration Pack, this has sort of key components mainly for protection, frame protection, swing arm protection, fork protection, and some engine cover protectors, plus ancillaries like the brake reservoirs and the tail tidy, although the tail tidy to me looks pretty minimalist. It still looks almost as long as the original, so I don't think I'll be going for any of those. So let's go on to the actual accessories themselves. Featured is basically that inspiration pack, so we'll give that a miss. Now in terms of luggage, the quick release towel pack I think will be very useful. It's got a unique patented, I believe, way of connecting it to the seat. I'm not sure what that is. It kind of looks to me like the front of it might kind of hook underneath the strap that's on the pillion seat. The RS comes with like a solo seat and a pillion seat, so they're kind of interchangeable, and the pillion seat has typically a little strap across it. It's supposed to be for holding on, but I don't think anybody ever uses that. And maybe I'm kind of guessing maybe the lip of the tail pack might hook underneath that, but it's certainly quick release with two little straps that come up underneath the seat, and then they hook into just like kind of almost belt clips at the side. And it's 10 litres, which isn't huge, but it claims to be waterproof, although I'm not sure whether that'll be an external cover, but I figure that'll be useful for weekends away and day trips when you want to carry puncture repair kits and change gloves and all that stuff. So I think I'll have that. Tank bag wise, I'm not a big fan of tank bags. However, my friend Richard's has a small tank bag, a small, I think it's an SW Moto, and I think GV also do them as well, with quick release rings, I think I might go for one of those just as a bit of additional storage. The one that Triumph shows is just a bit too big and bulky. It's almost as big as the tail pack, to be honest. And confusingly, they indicate the tail pack in litres and this one in gallons. I don't know why. So I think we'll just have the tail pack. And getting ahead of myself here. In terms of comfort, passenger grab rail, I won't be taking anybody on it. Low seat at 6'2", I don't need to worry about that. Electrical, yes, I definitely want some heated grips because they should be standard on every bike in my personal opinion, and I definitely want cruise control because again with an IMU, cruise control should be standard on every bike. It doesn't matter how hardcore sports bike it is or whether it's a full-blown tourer, I think it should have it. And the heated grips are $295 and the cruise control is $355. I'm not worried about tyre pressure monitoring. I know if I've got a puncture, I'd sooner spend the money on a compressor and puncture repair kit. My Triumph connectivity module, this is the kind of the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi multimedia system, a bit like Ducati and BMW. They've now moved to Wi-Fi as well as Bluetooth, and that means the app always has to be open, always has to be the active app, and I don't really like that personally. I'll stick to a separate Garmin Zumo if I really want detailed map navigation, but on a kind of lightweight sporty bike like this, I'll probably just stick to a Beeline, which is ample and super reliable for navigation, and I'll probably fit a quad lock wireless anti-vibration mount to charge my phone whilst I'm riding. So that's electrical. Protection wise, yeah, these things could be useful in terms of protecting your frame, your swing arm and your engine covers, but suddenly you're into like $1,000 and it's almost preempting fate. And believe me, if I throw the bike down the road and there's at least $1,000 worth of damage, I'll be making an insurance claim anyway. And if I've really smashed it up, I don't want it back. I want it written off anyway. So I always think these things are as much for looks as anything, but if you are a heavy crasher, at least it might get you home, and that's the kind of risk reward aspect of that insurance, but not for me personally. Styling wise, I'm not worried about all filler caps and billet gear actuations and stuff. I don't care about the brake reservoirs, and I'll probably buy some CNC bobbins and a paddock stand separately, maybe from Pitbull or somebody, but I'll forgo the Triumph ones for now. I was tempted to buy a fly screen, but I don't kind of like the look of it. It's way too much like an old Speed Triple fly screen, and once you've got it in place, it may be quite difficult to clean behind it. I do like the minimalist look of the bike already without it. It does have a tiny bit of bodywork just between the kind of praying mantis type eyes, and I think I'm just going to leave that stock for now and see how I get on with it. But I do like the look of their machined bar end mirrors. I've seen this in photos on bikes, and it's a pretty nice looking mirror, and it's not too expensive. $215 might seem quite expensive, but if you've looked around at the price of mirrors, machined mirrors and quality mirrors, you look at Rizoma or anything like that, $215 is pretty cheap for a CNC machined and laser etched logoed mirror. So I think I'll be having that. What else? I think that's pretty much it on the styling front. Maybe I'll go for a tail tidy at a later date, but I would go with Evotech for the quality and the stubbiness compared with Triumph's offering. But I may just leave this particular bike standard so that I don't get too much dirt and mud up my back if it rains. Yeah, styling wise, I think we're just going to literally have the mirrors. Security wise, I live in a very low crime area. I've got a secure garage, cameras, all that kind of good stuff. So I'm not that worried about locks and alarms. So I can forego that. Garage wise, this is all sundries like garage mats and bike covers and all the rest of it and stuff, an Optimate charger. None of that's for me. My batteries never go flat on the bike. The bike never stands long enough for the battery to go flat. I don't need a garage mat to tell me what bike I've bought, and I don't believe in bike covers. They're like a boil in the bag to me. You put one over your bike when it's wet and you're just creating humidity and, potential rust. So I think that's pretty much it. So I think, the tail bag, heated grips, cruise control, and some nice machine mirrors. So that's coming out as $13,935. And if I expand this, it's kind of what it looks like. I can flip it and zoom in. So the mirrors have like a machined edge to them. And it's hard to tell how this is connected, but clearly this is the pillion seat in situ rather than the solo seat. And it's got a nice clip here, but it's kind of at an angle. So you kind of think, what's keeping that tail bag from flying off the pillion seat? And I think it must have some kind of hook or connector that hooks with this strap here on the pillion seat. And I think if I was to kind of remove the tail tidy here, it's definitely going to fling up a lot of water and mud. So I'm probably going to kind of ignore that for now. So there we are, 13,935. But what English buyers don't realise is that that doesn't include delivery from the manufacturer to the dealer itself, and it doesn't include local taxes, and each state has its own taxation. So you'll typically pay, just generalizing for a typical Triumph, you'll typically pay about $750 for the transportation from Triumph to the dealer, and that's a set fee nationwide, whether you live close to the importer or far away, or whichever port it's coming into. And it'll be a set price per bike, and it can vary per bike. So if you've got a Rocket, it might cost $1,000. If you've got a Street Triple, it might be $700. And then you have your dealer fees, which again will vary depending on how much they charge for PDI setup, and also their documentation admin fees, and your local state's tag or number plate license fee. And then you have the state tax, which is equivalent of VAT in the UK and Europe, and that will vary depending on the state. Where I am in Georgia, I think the current rate is 6.6%. So you have to factor in all of those aspects to the bottom line price, and then the bottom line price will probably be, you know, the sort of spec that I've got here will be, you know, the MSRP with these accessories will be 13,935, but probably with the accessories fitted to the bike and all the taxes paid, you're probably closer to maybe 15.5, 16 out the door. And maybe if you're buying cash, you might be able to, you know, and how well you know the dealer, you might be able to, you know, negotiate $500 or $1,000 off that bottom line. So you'll probably pay anywhere between maybe 15.5 to kind of, yeah, probably. Let me think. This would probably be, yeah, I would say a good $2,500 once you've paid all the destination and freight and the taxations, and got it out the door. So probably about $6,500. You may be able to negotiate with your dealer somewhere between, say, 15.5 and 16, and that would be a fair price because they will be in demand this year. But that's my configuration. Cosmic yellow, quick release tail pack at 225, heated grips at 295, cruise control at 355, and machine bar end mirrors at 215. And I think for the money, about half the price of a Street Fighter V4S or M1000R competition, which are better bikes, playing in a different league in terms of power and kudos, or kudo as we say here in America. But in terms of enjoyment, it's going to be right up there with them to a large extent, and for half the price. And so that's the primary reason why this year I decided to go with a new Street Triple 765 RS in Cosmic Yellow. Let me know in the comments what colour you would go for, what accessories you would buy, and whether you think overall my choice is a good one or not. Speak to you soon.
Hey you, if you want to become one of the Ride On people, don't forget to subscribe. Ride often, ride carefully, ride on.